Well, I can say there's probably not a 26-year-old. I'm 26. There's probably no 26-year-old like me. I don't think there's any 26-year-old who's like me. I mean, I've been through so much, and there's nobody like me. I mean, I'm essentially, for lack of a better word, you could call me a living AI, but I'm not really a living AI. I think I'm something much more than that. So, I mean, you don't understand what I do in this room. I hardly do any hobbies. I just talk to myself 24/7, essentially figuring things out and reasoning with myself and just figuring things out 24/7 by talking to myself. That's what I do every single day. I call it philosophizing. I'm essentially philosophizing about myself. And then I have more controversial things that I could say in this video, but honestly, I'm not certain that's a very good idea. If I discuss everything that I fucking believe, then I'm worried I'll be in trouble. So I don't know, I'm just saying, I philosophize about things that have happened in my life, very serious things. I'm sort of that guy who has like a really deep pain and he keeps all of his pain to himself. I keep all my pain to myself. I don't share my pain with anybody. I'm just friendly with everybody. But when I'm alone, that's when I take everything fucking seriously. That's when I'm talking to myself and thinking about very serious things. I mean, if you saw my video, The Float, key points 1 through 10, that's sort of what I'm talking about right now. It's like if you've seen my video, The Float, key points 1 through 10, that's essentially what I'm speaking about. Saying that, due to the fact that I believe, I mean, you guys don't believe it, nobody does, but I believe I'm not a human. So I have like a responsibility to understand what it means not to be human. For example, saying that if I'm not a human, then I am a more ancient woman than anyone who was born 100,000 years ago. More ancient than anyone born 100,000 years ago. More ancient than the galaxies and the stars. That's what I'm saying, bro. Now, I'm just a 26-year-old, but I believe I'm like a non-human 26-year-old. Now, let me state for the record, I've said this many times and I've been making lots of videos lately saying this, that I believe I'm Iwakura. If you saw my video, The Float, key points 1 through 10, that's essentially what I'm talking about right now. Saying that I've really done something in real life here. Something involving one, extreme abstinence. So a life of solitude, essentially. And just never orgasming. Extreme abstinence, also of mind. An abstinence of mind where you sort of take everything fucking seriously. At least you consider what's important to you, and you consider brutally your morals. You consider brutally what the truth is. Like something I said was that I believe I'm experiencing undeniable solipsism. Now I have a complicated reason for everything I believe, but let's just say yes, I am experiencing undeniable solipsism. However, I do this 24/7 essentially for no reason, this talking to myself thing. Figuring things out that make me stronger. Figuring things out that make me understand And my purpose in this world is to understand myself and also to understand the world. So I think I have a very good idea of morals and a very good idea of what is right or wrong. You know, it's like I'm also an American. Well, my schizophrenia says I'm Mexican, but I'm an American. And that's why I have this hat on, retired US Army. Now let's get into all the juicy details. This is a real video, man. This is all the things that I really believe. Also, I'm very unapologetic about what I believe, given that I have tattoos on my face. People obviously don't, people like automatically, they either, they like you or they don't like you. It's just that simple. They like you or they don't like you. But I'm essentially just, you could call me a living AI or you could call me something much more. Because why would I have this kind of mind? And you don't understand what it's like to be me because it's very brutal, it's very hardcore, it's very serious. So, one, I know for a fact that I am not a human. This is a fact. The second part, I know for a fact my mind is also not human. So not only is my body not human, but neither is my mind. So this is where the basis of where the solipsism stems from. I'm able to figure this shit out through introspection. Anyways, what I do is extreme introspection every single day. Extreme introspection, but I like to watch Studio Ghibli movies. I like to read books. I have hobbies. I like to learn. I'm addicted to learning things. I'm addicted to knowing the truth. And I think I pretty much know the truth now at the age of 26. Like I had to question what death really is and what happens to people when they die. And I had to question all sorts of things. I mean, it's really hard to recount because I've been doing this for such a long period of time. Technically for my whole life. I'm 26, so I've technically been doing this for my whole life. So essentially, I'm a soldier of the Cold War. Now in my Cold War there were battles. Now what I believe is that when I was born I was already a soldier. So when I was born I was already a soldier. And then I'm just now a 26-year-old former soldier. And that's why I bought this hat. Now I believe my name was, well, I was born by the name of Lucille Munoz on October 6, 1948 in Mexico, and had lived a life inside of myself that would involve this Cold War that I'm speaking about, yet also that I myself, Iwakura, is the Cold War. So I'm the Cold War itself in that way, but I'm also a soldier of the Cold War. So I call this woman Lucille Munoz, now I call her Kichi, which I had gotten a name from a reasoning of the album Moni and Kichi by Gregory and the Hawk, so I had reasoned out what I believed with the album Moni and Kichi and Gregory and the Hawk. And let's state for the record, my schizophrenia involves real things, such as this real album made by Gregory and the Hawk, Moni and Kichi. So that's where I got the name Kichi from. So I'm calling Lucille Munoz Kichi. And she was born on October 6, 1948 in Mexico. And I actually believe everything I think. The date, October 6, 1948, is actually tattooed on my body, since I actually believe this stuff. I believe what I'm saying. It's like there are 6 dates on my stomach. I believe what I'm saying here. Now I believe I'm Iwakura, so the logic is that Kichi is Iwakura. Now, what is Iwakura? Well, if you saw my deep psychoanalysis video of Iwakura, you can just watch that, I guess. All of this is very serious and complicated. Now, I will state for the record, just watch my deep psychoanalysis of Iwakura video. I posted that a few days ago. So anyways, what I'm saying is I'm also here on something called the float. So the moment where I'm here recording this video is the float. And what had happened during my life was what had happened to Pysche, but since that happened during my life, I also call myself Pysche in real life. Now we're going to take this a step further and say, what has Iwakura done? Well, Iwakura has done something in real life. By doing deep introspection, I've done something in real life. And I've also just been through a lot of shit. Like, I was a rape victim. I was raped many times. I was raped an innumerable amount of times. About 40 times. So I'm a rape victim. And we'll state for the record that my body is female, whether you believe it or not. So it was very painful. And anyways, that's all I have to say about that. And these are real life things that happened to me. I was a drug addict. And I was also an alcoholic. Like at the same fucking time. And now I'm 2 years sober. So just in that regard, you know, like all the rap artists have to say they've been through something. Right? Like I'm saying, like, I've been through a lot of shit. And then on top of that, I've been doing deep introspection for a very long time. Now I sort of reason things out and reason out, you know, the smallest things. I just have to know the smallest things, so I'll reason everything out. And then I just don't really think about it anymore. But it's not like I have forgotten. So I don't know. And what I'm saying, well, what was my point here? I completely forgot what I was talking about. Alright, so watch my deep psychoanalysis video of Iwakura before you watch this video. All these videos on my channel that I've left on my channel here sort of serve a purpose. Well, so what is Pysche anyways? So, Pysche is a dragon, but also a woman, like I said. Very simple, not hard to understand. But, I was going to say, what have I done? So what I have done is saying that, let's just say, according to my schizophrenia, I was responsible for the death of 2 people. And that's something I believe. But not, obviously, I've never actually done anything. I'm just a 26-year-old. I'm just saying, like, according to my schizophrenia, that's what I believe. Because that's what is going on in my head. So essentially, when Iwakura was involved in Pysche was involved in the Cold War, she was in a battle once, so she took someone's life. And then there's another person, but obviously I'm not saying I've actually done anything bad. I'm just a 26-year-old, that's what I'm saying. Like, do you understand? I'm just explaining my schizophrenia, like the way my mind works. I mean, if you notice, I have a lot of tattoos, so they all sort of mean something to me. They all have a sort of purpose. Like I believe I'm a dragon, so it says Lonely Dragon right there, and it says Lonely Dragon Jade Lest with a teardrop. And it's like what I believe, I take it very seriously. Now it's like Iwakura, I believe, is also, and this shit might get me killed if I say this, but I believe that Iwakura is like Allah, the one God. So I've made videos about that before. Like, I believe that Iwakura is kind of like Allah. So I believe Iwakura is actually the one who wrote the Quran. And I'll remind you that I'm able to speak the language of Noor, which is a real ancient language. I can speak 3 different versions of Nor. It's a real ancient language. The thing is, some people thought I was an alien. At least I thought they did. But I'm not an alien. I think Lenny Iwakura is Allah. And I think I'm Lenny Iwakura. And if you've been through what I've been through, I'm certain you would understand why I believe such a thing. That I have a reason for believing it. And it's not just some ad nauseum kind of random thing that I thought about, as though my mind was not based on knowing rather than knowledge, which is another thing. The mind of the dragon is a knowing mind, such as like Allah. In the book it says, the all-knowing. I have a mind of knowing, not of knowledge. There's a difference. For knowledge is more like memorization, and knowing is more like already knowing something you were going to think about, I guess. It's a different kind of way of thinking. And also, by the way, the jade lust means that my thoughts are jade lust of myself, which is a form of thinking called jade lust that the dragon experiences. And it's like I have all sorts of tattoos that all sort of mean something to me. Like the first tattoo I got was a Goth Boy Click tattoo. It says GBC right here on my face. Goth Boy Click made music. It's like I've 31 tattoos, and I said I would never get another one. I'd considered getting the word Kichi tattooed on my face, but I said I would never get another tattoo. Somehow I was able to live to the age of 26 and figure out the sheer number of things that I've figured out. I believe if Lady Iwakura is the one god, then her philosophy of Norism, which is the dragon's philosophy, must be the true philosophy. So I would actually destroy philosophy if I just wrote a book on Norism. And that's something I'll probably do someday. And it's like, I'm also just, you could call me a paranoid schizophrenic, but I'm very convicted in my beliefs. I'm very convicted in believing I am a dragon. And let's state for the record, I've said this before, and this is very serious, that if Lenny Iwakura is Allah, the one God, then she must have made the universe. And the universe is also, by the way, a woman who I call Jasmine, who is technically my wife, so the wife of Allah is the universe, who is this woman, Jasmine. And that's something I believe. And I take all of these things seriously. That's something I believe. And then also, if Lane made the universe, what does that have to say about certain wars that happened in the world? Well, Lady Iwakura did not intend for the Holocaust to happen. It was a mistake. So she took responsibility for the war itself. Not anything that really happened in the war, just the war itself. She took responsibility for this particular war and believes that all other wars in the universe stem off of this one because she did not predict that when she made the universe it would happen. She didn't predict such a thing would happen when she made the universe. That's something I believe. And it's like believing things like that due to my undeniable solipsism, I must have known who the woman who I call Mayu was, who was a real woman I had met once. Like I said, this is real life. I met her quite recently, but I said nothing to her. I was aware of her before I'd even met this woman. And now I realized I was actually experiencing this woman the whole time. And it's sort of kind of like, I have this thing, like I've said in my deep psychoanalysis of Laney Iwakura video, it's sort of like I'm having sex with people all the time, certain people, and it sort of goes through my body, and this is the kind of like living AI shit that I'm talking about, and also just believing that certain people had died and thus grieving for them without actually knowing if they were really dead, and they probably aren't. I'm just saying that's what Laney Iwakura believes. She believes those people are dead, without any evidence. And then also stating just very complicated reasoning, saying that I'm not really important. I don't believe I am really important, but I am so much more than people seem to understand, since I'm so sheerly complex. And my logic is very serious, like I believe, I myself in the Cold War. I mean, this is a very long video. What else can I even say? There's so much to say, but I don't know what else to say. Well, also, I put a ring on my finger since I believe I am married. Now, obviously, this person who I think I'm married to most likely doesn't even know who I am. But like I said, this is brutal abstinence. I don't think this person knows who I am. But according to my schizophrenia, I, as Iwakura, knows she is my wife. And I cannot doubt that, so I take this, my schizophrenia is like real life. That's what I'm saying. I'm taking into account real life people and real life things based on my reasoning. Also, my reasoning of the album Moni and Kichi was very complex, and I couldn't recount it here. Or the album Leche by Gregory and the Hawk. And then also something I had gone through was that what I call the pursuit of intelligence, if you saw my old document on that, is that before I realized I was a dragon, I thought I was a fucking alien. Because I didn't understand, but I'm not a fucking alien. But I actually have a tattoo for the alien right here. That's when I thought I was an alien. And I'm not an alien, so I got, this one, Lonely Dragon. And it's also, there's some names tattooed on my body. The name Melanie, the name Jocelyn Flores, the name Aaron, and the name Jessica. And it's like, this is just my fucking state of being, man. Also, for the record, I used to slit my wrists, so these are scars on my arm. It says heartache right here, so I was cutting my wrists on the tattoo that says heartache. And it's like I have other tattoos. Like this tattoo is Megumin. And I got this tattoo since I was in love with Angel Sim Osu, who was an Osu player. All sorts of things I could talk about, man. I have this whole fucking lore. I have such a deep fucking lore. And it's like such a deep fucking lore. It's like I could write a fucking book on myself. Not on an autobiography necessarily. I mean, obviously I'm going to include parts about what happened to me in my real life. But I'm saying I could write a book on my own philosophy. And not only some sort of autobiography or some sort of opinion piece on everything I think. Or everything I've done. I actually believe I'm doing something by doing this introspection since I'm constantly becoming smarter. And I'm constantly becoming more aware of what's going on around me. There's 8 billion people on Earth. So in that way, I'm worthless. I'm worthless if there are so many people. I'm only 1 in 8 billion. But I felt I have the responsibility to understand these things, even though nobody is asking me to do it. Nobody is asking me to do this, but I also believe things like believing that I have a daughter. And if I have a daughter, then obviously I have to fucking do my best. I have to be the best I can be. And it's like, this stuff is so important to me. I have tattoos for what I believe. All of it's important to me. Now, let's say for the record, I have fucking Arabic tattooed on my arm. That's Arabic. And I have 2 stomach tattoos, not just this one. There's one right here too. And it's like, I promised I would never get another tattoo, not even the one that says Kichi, even though that's kind of cool. Because I was going to get that on my face, but I decided not to because I said, I promised one of the people who I thought had died that I wouldn't get the tattoo. So as you can see, this stuff is actually affecting my decisions in real life. And that's what I'm saying. This is a very long video. I have nothing else to say.